So, short, I'm Aleksander Langmyhr, Business Development Director at Varjo. I'll do 2 minutes on Varjo, who we are, and then talk about what we're launching now, Teleport VR, and why that's very relevant for the AEC industry. And it's kind of a... my talk will be tying a lot of the things that we've talked about today together. What I'll be talking about is something that's available today. It's a fully functional product, so that it can be downloaded from our web pages today. But it will continue to develop, obviously going forward as well. But in short, about Varjo. So who are we? We are a B2B provider of VR hardware and now software. We're a fairly young company. We started in 2016, but had fairly rapid growth. We are 150, closing to 200 employees now. Raised about $100 million in venture funding. Hopefully that will change significantly quite soon as well. So exciting times. We have focused on training and simulation, design and engineering, research and medical, but now also focusing more on the AEC industry. And we have offices in the US and around Europe. We create the most advanced and best VR headsets on the market. It has the patented human eye resolution. It's more like watching in the headset as you do in the real world. There's eye tracking, there's video pass-through, and there's hand tracking and so on. So it's the most advanced headsets. And this is our product suite today. It's the VR3, it's the XR3, and it's the Aero. Both of them are available at display upstairs with our partners Lenovo and System Active. So there you can try them and see what they can offer you. So that's kind of the hardware part of what we're doing. For today, what's relevant for this presentation? Varjo Teleport VR. So what is this? It's a virtual arena for project review and visualization. So a lot of people are talking about the Metaverse, so are we. Varjo is saying that our Metaverse is grounded in reality. So this is our first steps towards that and enabling what's coming in the Varjo Reality Cloud going forward. The Teleport VR allows users to drag and drop 3D models into our software, CAD models of different sorts. It allows you to experience them as you were there if you are using headsets. Or it also allows you to join collaborative meetings from desktops as well. And even though it's optimized for a Varjo headset, the software works on other HMDs as well. So how does it work? First, you start by importing assets from your 3D modeling CAD software. And it is literally drag and drop. You run the Teleport VR software. You run the executable as you run any program. You drag and drop your 3D models as you would attach attachments to an email. And you, we also have some integrations to Revit, Navisworks, and so on. So you don't have to import the models, but you actually open them from those programs, CAD programs. Then, after they're imported, that takes everything from seconds to, if they're very big models, a minute or two. You create a session where you can invite others in, and you will be the one having the models. They join the room, and they will have access to the models through you, through cloud sharing. They can join the collaborative session from, as I mentioned, either desktop or VR. And then everyone can interact with the 3D model. And you can use CAD models of different sorts. You have scans, point clouds, and so on that can be dragged and dropped into the models, and you can mix and match these as you want to. I'm just going to show a brief clip of how it actually looked like. So this is from a design review of a tunnel. So what we're seeing here is video from the headset from one user. The other avatars there are other users located at other physical places. So they are 3 different places in Norway collaborating, walking around in this model. This is a BIM model, which I guess most of you are familiarized with. So it consists of many different models combined, everything from electricity to HVAC to fire and safety and so on. So what they're doing here is they are doing a design review on the combined model. And what AF-gruppen, which is the pilot customer here, found out is that they just understand the model better when they use teleport VR like this. It enables them to see things they didn't see on 2D screens. And they actually did a proper test on this. So what they did, they had the same review team take the exact same 3D model, do design reviews as they usually do, use a program like Navisworks, sit 3 people in the room physically together, had the model on a billboard like we have here. They sat together for hours, going through the model, finding errors, and one day, once they've said like, okay, now we've been through the model, we've identified all errors we could find, all collisions and so on, and now there is nothing more we could see here. Then they took that model, dragged and dropped it into Teleport VR, and within minutes, they found significant more errors that they had overlooked. And it's literally because they can experience the model when you do using VR like this. So it's actually, yeah, it's like it's built. And why this is important? It's obviously because the drawings are the foundations of what's going to be built. So the BIM model is being delivered to the general contractor, and that's what they use as a basis of building. So if the models are more precise, the buildings goes faster and there are less mistakes. There are always mistakes made when building something, but with having a better foundation, it is dramatically reduced. And obviously, being able to do this remote also add to the benefits of using Teleport VR. And a quote like this kind of says the most to us. They, knowing the model better through experiencing it together using Teleport VR, create a better model, create better buildings. It's we can't get much better statements than that. So to kind of look at it from another way, Teleport VR is a software to meet, share, and collaborate. So we have pilot customers using this in different ways, but first and foremost, it's collaboration and visualization software. So some of our pilot customers, architects, have used this for like personal, like one architect have used the software to quickly visualize drawings from or models from Revit and so on, where they sit and design. But they've also used it to take the clients into the models at an early stage to more easily convey their message and the design and thinking about the design. So you have those kind of use cases. Then you have more like city planning. This is the actual drone footage, a photogrammetry scan, also dragged and dropped into the software. And one of the obvious functionalities is that you can have the model like in front of you, small scale, give it back and forth to each other. Or you push a button when inside Teleport VR and you're in one-to-one scale, which makes it easier, again, to walk around and discuss. And it's just better to have a discussion when being present. Yeah, and also, obviously, like the collaborative aspect, I can't highlight it enough. So the part that you're actually able to be together in the model from different places at the same time makes this a unique experience, and also it really adds to the experience. Most ways discussions around 3D models are done today. It's usually people having, either it's design reviews or it's architects in an early stage or other areas where you use 3D models in the AEC industry. Most people do use Teams or other video conferencing software. One person sits in the CAD program, shares the screen, and rotates the model. So doing this instead makes everyone more involved, and everyone can interact with the model. And yeah, everyone gets a better understanding of what's done. And trying to explain what would happen if you would join from a desktop computer. So if you use these two pictures here, you can see the avatars here. They're in different locations, pointing on the model. But it's quite hard to see here, but there's a kind of a floating duck, that's what it looks most like there. And this is a person joining from a desktop computer. What they actually do in a collaborative session is that the desktop computer kind of works like a flying camera. So if you're in a meeting and you watch someone that has shared screen through, is it on? But do you hear me in the back?
For the virtual stream.
Hmm?
We need it for the virtual.
Oh, the virtual stream. Sorry. Yeah, so this would be kind of like a flying camera where you fly around in the scene and around the model. So when someone share a screen through Teams or similar, you're just there as a passive spectator. But here, you're actually involved in the meeting, and you can watch the model from any angle you want to. And then some of these participants say, hey, we want to experience the model in one-to-one scale. Then you can use this picture here. Then suddenly you're inside the buildings with piping and everything. And that person joining from a desktop would be here as well, being able to fly around in that model. So it really makes it quite a unique experience, and yeah, it can't really compare to anything that's here today. A screenshot from inside the software. This is an example of one of the features in the software. This is annotations. So it's for everyone here in the AEC industry. This is done with a BCF format. So this is readable in other softwares as well. So you can do annotations on the model. You can be in Teleport VR, take pictures of the model, assign comments to those pictures, and that's saved in a BCF format so that you can save them in the session and import them in other CAD software you use as well. And these are, it's very good. It's being used more and more. It's speech-to-text annotations. So it enables you to do that. Yeah, so these are some of the examples where some pilot customers have used it differently. A Swedish company have used it. They use cloud, like point cloud scanning extensively. Then they import those point clouds and put the BIM model on top of them as well to get a better understanding. There's Sognan Center, a Chinese real estate developer, who has used this to show potential tenants how the building will look like. And then you have AFGruppen in Norway who has used it, using it more and more. This is from a road project where they're building a bridge, but they've also started using it on other projects as well. Key benefits. It's easy and intuitive. It's one of the things we focus most on. The virtual experience is intuitive. For many, like putting a VR headset on, it's a whole new reality to deal with. We've done it so it's as intuitive as possible. So we'll see it rarely takes more than a couple of minutes before people are comfortable in the experience, find it easy to grab and manipulate the models, and be in a collaborative discussion. It obviously productivity goes up. It increases understanding. When you build without mistakes, it reduces costs and it reduces travel if being used remote. We have customers that acknowledge this part, reducing travel, but actually start out by having 3 headsets in the same room. So people are virtually collaborating, but physically present together. And that's instead of having the 3D model up on the screen, 3 people sitting next to each other looking at it. And they get a better collaboration after it, more precise discussions. And then you can move that to the travel part if you want to, not needing to go to the office. Last slide. It's available. You can literally go to our webpage now, varjo.com, find the teleport webpage, download it, and start using it. That's really it from me. Any questions, comments on this? Yeah, in the back there. Oh, yeah, oh, sorry. Yeah, I think you need to ask your question into the microphone.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, good stuff. So you mentioned about collaboration and you mentioned about people being in different places or being in the same room. In terms of hardware, how does it work? Does 3 headsets in the same room needs a 3 machine, a separate machine? Does this 3 machine needs to be in the same networks? How do they communicate to each other?
They communicate through internet, so they need to be plugged into the internet, but they don't need to be on the same network necessarily. It's internet-based communication, and it is compatible with all tethered headsets. So the headsets can be different, and people can also join from literally just a desktop computer, laptop, watching it, and being part of the meeting from a laptop.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? One more question coming up.
Hello? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just a follow-up to that one, really, about, I mean, you just mentioned there about tethered headsets.
Yep.
I take it, you know, something like the Quest 2, for example, potentially could you use 2 Quest 2s, and therefore, are you saying they have to use like a link cable, or could they use the wireless capability to link back to a PC? Is it the PC they need to be connected to is the important bit, not necessarily how it talks to the PC?
Yes. It could be wirelessly connected, and the main reason for the need for a computer at the moment is the size of the models. So it's not the software itself. We say that we can drag and drop 3D models, and we can, but most models aren't made for lightweight computers or standalone headsets. So that's why we need the computers, because the models are so big.
Okay, and just to follow up then, so I presume there's a bit of software that needs to be downloaded onto the PC for this to work?
Yes. So it's called Teleport VR. It's downloadable, and yeah, that's it. Then you're ready to go.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you.
And to follow up again.
Yeah, perfect.
from
This
chat
is great.
It's a hardware-related question. So we work for an engineering firm. They all have terrible laptops, like honestly terrible. So what kind of hardware requirements, can someone with an average Joe laptop actually run this? Or would they need something with a GPU in it to run it?
For joining from just a laptop, you don't need like crazy specs. You would need a decent GPU, but nothing like out of the ordinary. I would say the better GPU you have, the better it runs. It really depends on the models, because it's the model that takes all the capacity from the computers. Rendering a model in real time, collaboratively, needs computing power. So that's really the story of it.
Do you want to ask one more? Yeah. So just one more question then.
Yeah.
So it supports all tethered headsets. Is there? I don't know if you've mentioned this already. Is there any future support going to be for the Quest 2 wirelessly?
So if the Quest 2 is, it can be wirelessly connected to a computer.
Okay.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, but I mean like without a computer, just standalone Quest 2.
Yeah, well then it's back to like model sizes again. So you can, it wouldn't be difficult for us to make the software run on a Quest 2, for instance. But people would try to upload too big models, and it would crash. So, but obviously we're like always looking how one can optimize. Again, this is it functions well with all headsets. Obviously, it works best with the Varjo product suite, and there are some demands for GPUs if using Varjo headsets. So if using Varjo headsets, you're safe on the hardware side. But we're always like looking to how to optimize. But currently, like the models are the way they are. We need computing power.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
From a hardware requirement, it would be Quadro, NVIDIA Quadro, RTX 4000 or above.
I think there's a question in the back there.
Perfect. I was, but you got it.
Just a quick one.
Yeah.
Audio, and do you need a microphone or a separate mic, or do your headsets have a microphone built into them?
So the Varjo headsets, you need the Aero comes with in the box. It comes with both audio and microphone. The other headsets, you need the external ones.
Good. Perfect. Any other questions? Perfect. I have one last question for you.
Yeah.
I know Varjo has both offline as well as online licenses. For offline, for some of those more data-sensitive customers, would you be able to utilize this with an offline license?
It will be need some engine. You can say like we could install this on a closed network, but if like collaborating, obviously you need the computers connected to each other somehow. So it works. It would definitely easiest to do it on like open computers through the cloud, but it can be done. But we would need to do some customizing to make that happen.
Thank you.